Hello. Welcome to episode 40 of In the Last Remaining Light. You've made it here with us to the far side of 2021. Kind of like the dark underbelly of the year you just experienced will now be happening. That's where you are now. I am your host, Nathan, and I am joined by Sai playing Mary, Katie playing Iris, and Tyr. I'm not joined by Tyr. That would be terrifying. She'd probably eat me.
That'd be a lot.
I can just imagine her looming over.
Oh, no.
Sweatpants.
A dark shadow. It's like
Turn off the
hi.
stream.
She'll be like, so how many dice are you
Yeah.
rolling? Just
Jillian will be playing Tyr, a resident enforcer gang role. And we join this coterie in the middle of a coup, as they have been for months now. Tyr and Iris flee federal law enforcement on behalf of the local Tremere regent, Diana, clearing the way for her to conduct business with the other Primogen. Mary remains in place at the Seattle Art Museum. She watched one of the dear young charges go back into the darkness with his sire. They recovered a lost child, and they did a good thing. They reunited the child with its sire. Have feelings about that if you like. So we'll join Mary in the moment after Walter and Michael fade down that long hallway into the darkness, and I'm sorry, does somebody have their Twitch on?
Mm-mm. Is it echoing?
I think it's
now we can
echoing
hear
on
you.
his end.
Yeah, now you're just muted.
How about now?
Okay.
Perfect.
That's better.
Muted you all. Anyways. Mary, would you make one last awareness roll for me?
What?
Wits
what?
and awareness, please.
Okay. I'm. Why is this? Okay. Well, 2 successes.
And earlier, when you first entered this place, you activated Eyes of the Beast. Is that still active? Did you hear me?
Yes.
Um,
yes, it is. It is on.
As Michael and Walter retreat into the darkness, they fade from gently lit individuals catching the gas lanterns on the wall into bare outlines. And then in the moment before they You can't make out the edge of the outline anymore against the darkness itself. You squint, and seemingly from the edge of darkness itself, another outline steps, blocking your view. And then all three recede. The elevator dings. Catherine kindly looks back at you. You ready, dear? Oh, Marcellus, would you take care of the
Yeah.
lanterns
Where are we going?
before you close up? So you are getting back onto the elevator, presumably, to return to Catherine's apartments.
Yeah, sure.
Marcellus
I wonder
nods at
what
her.
Kier and Iris are doing.
Something smart and good.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the exchange is done. I mean, that's what we wanted.
On our end, at least. So,
Okay.
what is Tyr still upstairs in her apartment?
No, she kind of, I don't know, like she kind of freaked out and she just ran away.
She.
Iris went after her. I think it's gonna be fine.
Oh dear.
Oh, right.
Iris
she
went
drank
after
that
her.
wine, right? Yeah.
Oh.
Iris is fast.
They must be.
I mean,
They must be at the convention center.
convention center.
I remember she was dealing with this issue before she left. The wine from Walter. Okay. I'll speak with Charlie.
I
Perhaps
think they'll
we
be
can help.
fine. Okay. By the way, so in case you find something out about my mom, what do we do? I guess it depends on what we find out, right?
Alert me as quickly as you can. She's not.
Okay.
She's no fool, your mom. I can negotiate with her.
Right. I don't think she's gonna do something not smart. She doesn't seem the type. What were to happen if just in case, like accident, if she were to like suddenly vanish, like die.
You are
I mean
a sweetheart,
that's what I
dear.
mean.
I don't think it's likely that she will perish. I think
I don't know.
it would be unfortunate for us because I am still counting on her presence at Elysium. Counting on that vote. I don't know.
Does someone take over her position, or
I suppose it would be Yuki.
Well, okay. I was just curious. Not that I am thinking, and that I mean, it came out of my mouth, but it wasn't in my brain.
Of course not.
I would never do that to my mom.
The elevator dings. The doors roll open.
Okay, I'm gonna.
So I take it you will then be returning to the home of your mother and enjoying the warmth of her presence and relationship that the two of you share.
I mean, we're already here. We're gonna maybe stay here for what time? What
It
time
is
is it?
3 a.m.
Oh, maybe we'll stay here for the day and we'll see what happens the
Certainly
next
do.
day,
Uh,
the next night.
Iris's apartments are open to you. I believe they should be able to accommodate the three of you.
Okay. Well, nice talk. I feel like it was a nice talk.
It was a lovely talk. Say hello to your mother for me.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could just text her.
I could. I think it would be more more poignant coming from you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna walk out and go back to the apartments, I guess.
I presume you go back to the apartments to wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for
All right.
Tyr and Iris, unless there's like some other development that happens. I'll just hang out with. Yeah, I'll just hang out there.
The most regal homeless man in downtown Seattle is waiting in the foyer when you all arrive. He doesn't seem to be doing anything in particular other than waiting for Catherine to arrive. After she says good evening to you, she addresses him, and the two of them share a short conversation before he gets on the elevator. And the big giant amber down arrow glows. It's the last thing that happens before you reach the quarters. And I think we're going to go to Tyr and Iris at that point.
Good. Perfect.
The two of you are walking back into Seattle onto Union Street, back directly into the downtown area from whence you just came. You can still hear, Iris, the pursuit of vehicles on I-5, the helicopter. In moments, you will be aware of whether or not your ruse has worked. The helicopter will either continue on or it won't. But for right now, the two of you are looking down an incline in the tunnel that leads out onto city streets. A canyon on both sides. Closed cafes and posh shopping stores. That's Union Street. I think El Corazon, ancient and infamous. metal dive bar is nearby here as well.
We could just go hang out in a dive bar until this all blows over.
We could just go
We
walk
could just
into
go
the
sit
bar.
in a bar.
If
You
we-
could deal with your problems. We'd blend in. Easy peasy. And a helicopter can't see you inside of a building, so I feel like not terrible option.
I mean, if there's a bar right when we walk out, I think that's a good
Yeah.
idea to go in there for just for a moment to let them drive by, even if they come out this way.
Yeah, because we gotta get away from the tunnel area just in case somebody is behind us.
Mm-hmm. Somebody has to be following him.
Yeah, there's no way somebody isn't currently like they had to run back to their cars and shit, but like eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'll
indeed.
keep an eye out for a bar to go in.
Yeah. I can't see.
I mean, I probably can't see well either with the, all the damage to wherever it's at.
Oh, I'm sorry. You broke your face on my collarbones when we made impact with the ground. Sorry. I'm okay though. I feel really bad about it. I'm gonna be honest.
At least you're okay.
Yeah.
So the two of you step out onto Union Street. Iris, you immediately button hook to the right. And there is El Corazon. There are a few motorcycles out front. It is slowed down here at the righteous hour of 3 a.m. There's no sound of metal coming from it.
I don't know if we're gonna be fixing my problem here then.
Yeah.
Not if it's this empty.
Maybe okay to just at least go in for a minute. What do you think?
Yeah.
Or should we keep just going?
We can just go in for a second. Maybe it look like we're just going to the bathroom real quick. So
All right.
not just standing there, not drinking it.
We'll blend in. I'll blend in. It'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
It'll work out. Yeah, we'll go
Sure,
there.
it will.
It'll be fine.
Fine. We'll go in.
We'll go there.
The two of you march up to the door. There's still a large man outside with a massive T-shirt stretched across his mighty X. It has the symbol of the institution right over his heart.
Aw.
Oh, we're closing up shop, ladies.
Hmm. Yeah, but you got like a bathroom or something we could use?
Okay, all right. It's in there, behind the bar on the right. In and out. We're trying to close up. Really?
Yeah.
No drinks.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
nothing.
No problem.
No drinks.
That's fine.
Yeah. We should just wash the blood off of Iris. Go
Exactly.
clean up. It's fine. Don't worry about us.
He opens the door for
we'll
you,
slip in and go to the bathroom.
and you go into probably one of the most cavernous dive bars you've ever seen. Normally, you are greeted with a low ceiling, but this place, it's a verified, sizable venue. You see off to the left, through dim lights, to a massive stage. The ceiling above you is gotta be 16 feet. And straight across, right where he indicated, there is a bar where the stools have been turned upside down and someone is behind the counter doing some final washing up.
Well, I feel like an asshole.
It's fine. Just go straight to the
beeline
bathroom.
to the bathroom.
Don't want to cause more trouble for these
Uh-huh.
people.
So you have come into the bar now, out from the open night air. Both of you make an awareness roll. What's awareness for me?
I am not good at that. Not even that hungry, but this is just a lot of red dice. Ooh! 3.
So, do I use willpower
I got 3.
or take the bestial failure?
Stop.
Which one?
Ooh! Why are you
Why
like
would you
this?
do? Why?
I don't know. It feels like such a waste of a willpower.
Don't just fail. Just be a shitty person for
And the FBI
have
storming.
a shitty night. It's fully up
Fine.
to you.
We accept the failure.
Hell yeah. I got a 3. It's very exciting. A success on all 3 dice. It's
Well,
balanced.
let's start with the good news.
Love it.
Yeah, I like good news.
If only all 3 of you were here and Mary could succeed and I could deliver you a nice bestial failure sandwich. But I can't.
Aw. I'm here to do mediocre. That's the best I can do.
So you don't need superpowers to hear a low police helicopter in close pursuit. And you could hear it too. Maybe you can't track exactly where it was the whole time, but you knew it was close. And it's definitely receding at this point. Booking it south. However, the streets you walked off on were completely empty. Like when you exited the highway and walked down the ramp into Seattle. And you hear the unmistakable screech of tires and whoosh of vehicles plowing down onto Union Street at full speed.
Mhm.
It's pretty obvious that
They still going?
it's pretty obvious that law enforcement isn't taking any chances in this pursuit. They know that you went into that tunnel and that there are possible exits, and they're trying to cover their bases.
Before Iris ruins everything, is there a window in this bathroom? Like on the far side?
There is a tiny window that goes like it's like up at the ceiling. Because there's so much variation in ground level for buildings in Seattle. It's all built on an incline. This building must be backed up into something that's got a higher floor plane. You could see out into an alleyway in there, but man, it would be a pain in the butt to get through that window. It's not impossible, but like it's like squeezing your head and shoulders through.
So Iris would have an easier time, say, if we had to go through that window. Just comparatively.
As entirely
Maybe.
a physics problem, yes.
Cool. Neat. Yeah, we're in fucking trouble. I'm gonna be honest.
Don't answer that question, Iris. I'll
What do you
answer it.
mean?
We are totally in trouble. This place is fucking awful. Just the sickness inside you
Yep, that's
has
true.
built and built and built as Tyr dragged you into this shithole. There was gum on the door handle, and Tyr just touched it. She just touched it. Somebody just stuck it on there, and Tyr just marched in to pretend like that didn't even happen. There is puke on the floor, just like on the edge of the bar. Tyr didn't notice that either. She maybe even stepped in it. And she dragged you into this women's restroom where you could just smell the awfulness. There was a hookup in here tonight. The sweat, it's just in this room. And you know, this wasn't a hookup between pretty people. You just know it. You just know
Of course
it.
not.
And you can continue on. You're going to be at a little bit of a dice penalty until you reach the confines of a more refined place, perhaps like your ancestral home at the Seattle Art Museum. And you need to get the fuck out of this bathroom right now.
It feels like such a bad time to have a bestial failure. Like,
Yeah. Tyr's just like getting a paper towel and like putting some water on it, and just like, yeah, we need to get out of here in a minute if you want to. Why does your face look like that?
I have to leave right now. Looking at the window, I don't think I can touch the wall to get up there. It's pretty gross. I mean, can you either open the door and we can leave, or I need to leave.
Okay. I could hear cars on the road of the pursuing us kind. We could go take a look
Mhm.
and go from there.
That's out of this room, so let's
Okay,
do
wipe
that.
the blood
Yeah.
off your nose, and she's gonna hand her the paper towel. There you go.
That paper towel came from inside this bathroom. And now you're going to put it on your face.
No, I'm dropping it.
It's okay. I'm gonna turn around and pretend I didn't see it. Tyr will hold the door for her. We've seen this before. We know what this is.
This is worse than Walmart.
She was like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of nice.
It's a good call. If you touch anything in this
Fuck me, though,
bathroom,
right?
I will make you roll for frenzy.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
It's a
when
bad
the FBI
place.
come in, she just needs to
Alright.
touch something, and it's like, okay,
You're right.
Right.
Just send me back in there. If that's
Have a
when I show
ring.
up.
We'll get her to talk. Yeah, I think we'll come out, and maybe if we're able to get a view of the street, that would be great.
So just back out the way you came
If
in?
not, we just start running, I guess. Yeah.
Is there a back exit that we could try?
Yeah,
to
is there
leave
another
through?
door? That's smart. My brain is so small and so smooth.
So El Corazon is the front of it kind of like faces the highway in a weird way. I'm
Mhm.
going to struggle to describe this. It's got a very dystopian cyberpunk kind of look to it, in that you step outside into this cramped little parking lot and you're actually looking up at I-5, kind of rising up above you. It is tucked away off of Union Street, so it's all these like trendy cafes and fancy shops and stuff. And then you kind of like go backwards around a corner, like you kind of go around the ramp, and you find like this dilapidated old building that is clearly like someone has fought off generations of eminent domain claims to maintain in the middle of Seattle.
Mm.
So when you step out the front door of El Corazon, what I'm getting at is that you are not on Union Street specifically. You're not just like stepping out
Okay.
into. As far as the back way out, there might be.
Mm.
There are doors behind the bar. There are some stage access doors you could use. It would be a weird conversation this time of night, though.
That's fine.
Like Tyr walking towards the door, Iris veers. No.
They're like, I'm going this way.
So where are you headed? Are you headed to the behind the bar, Iris, or are you headed to the stage? Okay.
Stage. See if there's exit.
So Iris marches up towards the stage. You have a choice here. You can come or you can not. There are some people packing up instruments, but there's not that many. Like there's no crowd to handle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Iris, you put your hand on the door to leave.
Mm.
I'm gonna let. Gosh. I'll look at Tyr and see if she's
Tyr's
coming or
still
not. And if
standing
she's
in
not,
the middle of the room.
if not, I will take off my scarf and use that to touch the door handle.
So you absolutely engage the handle and open the door. The band that's packing up, they've started to like look at you as you go backstage. Hey, are you lost?
I was told to not leave through the front door. I'm finding the other exit. Are you lost?
Oh, hey, okay.
Tyr's gonna make her way
All
up
right.
there.
Whatever. I just load guitars, lady.
Then load your guitars.
Starts muttering to himself.
You guys
And
have a
loading a
good
guitar.
night. Let's get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Iris.
I have to leave. Can't deal with these people.
There's a long, grimy hallway that leads back through here. There are some like green rooms. You hear people inside those. They're loud. People are having a good time. Post show. But you can kind of follow the equipment, the trail of, wardrobes and amps to a loading door in the back. It's going to kick you out one street north. I think that's Pine. We're going to call it Pine Street. But you are now on, you could look out now onto a street that is not immediately attached to the off-ramp from the tunnel.
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this sounds.
We can go out there.
Yeah, this sounds like our door. Do I need to get a door for you?
It is so this is the loading dock, so it is a giant garage door that just kind of like has been rattled up
Easy.
for people to bring
Oh,
in.
we're fine.
We could just
People
leave.
are actively loading stuff here, so you can.
There he is.
You can you can just walk out into the night air.
Perfect.
I'm gonna accidentally drop that scarf and never see it again in my life.
Tyr looks at it and is just like, how many scarves does she have? I have one of her scarves. She's just throwing them on the fucking ground.
I have enough to not need one that touched those doors.
Not here to judge. I threw you off of a train. I can't have opinions about that right now.
That's a great couple move. Let's fight about scarves here now.
Yeah, stop walking. I need to talk about this scarf you threw.
You can have it if you want.
Honestly, yeah, Tyr probably is like, and I got a new scarf. Yoink, now it's mine.
So 1 street north is still kind of the same thing, but you can look down all the way, and a few blocks is good old Westlake Convention Center, the concourse, where Diana might still be waiting for Walter Jackson and his progeny to return.
It would be funny.
Do we still see all the FBI cars down there, though?
Can we tell if the parking lot still looks a little full, or if we were actually really good at being a distraction?
I feel
we did a really good job.
So, looking down there, you can see that there are cars parked on the side of the streets. There are significantly fewer of the vehicles that you would make out to be unmarked police vehicles, but there's still got to be at least one
over there.
There's no way you would look at that and think the FBI was like, "Oh, we're not going to sit on this location for the rest of the night."
We could just throw this one dude's car. Just, I could beat one car full of people.
I don't know if that's smart,
you're right.
though.
I'm just saying I could.
You already destroyed that.
Wow, that was a blur. I almost fully forgot I did that.
Front window.
Everything happened real fast. Kind of just zoned out and just was running. I didn't think the whole side of the building would just sort of glass guillotine to the ground, you know? I wasn't.
You know what I'm grateful for? I'm grateful that there's still a monorail. I did not think that was going to be the case when I started writing this series. I thought that my monorail was going to fight it hard.
Destroy it. That would be super cool. I stop a train, just like old school Spider-Man. Just. Now I'm thinking about it. We got to go destroy that train. Okay.
Destroy the transportation system.
So should we go check in on this is worth a small boon Bianca, or wait, they all have the same name to me now. Diana, that one. The ones I don't like, they have A's at the end.
I don't know if we have the time tonight.
Yeah.
It's kind of getting early.
I mean, she's probably not dead.
I doubt it. She probably went inside her weird mirror.
Yeah, I didn't understand any of that, I'm going to be honest. I didn't understand half the stuff going on there. But also, I don't know if I'm supposed to. So I'm definitely fine with fuck Diana. I don't need it.
She owes you the boon either way. We'll get it when.
Yeah.
When we're ready.
And you said you had an idea for that, and it made me slightly uncomfortable. But how about we just start making sort of a roundabout way back to the museum?
Yeah, I don't think going straight down there. At least, definitely not down this
Yeah.
road.
Okay. We'll zigzag our way back home.
Indeed, Diana can fend for herself.
She said you could.
We already helped.
We
her.
did fully already help. Like if I actively
We sent
hear-
a helicopter away.
Yeah.
We did all sorts of things.
if there's like an active shootout happening, maybe we'll think about going to help. But if it's just quiet over there, then she's fine. Or the screams of FBI agents, then it's still probably fine.
Then it might be fun to go see what's happening.
That's very
but-
true. So if we hear anything interesting, we'll go check it out. But if we don't hear anything boring, not our business. Perfect.
Mhm.
That's our game plan.
So the two of you kind of slink up the streets. They are completely deserted, so it's kind of hard to blend in because there's nobody here.
Uh-huh.
You are gonna have to come through kind of an intersection that's, I don't know, at least about a block away from the concourse. You can see the monorail actually running in the distance. Just Iris.
Mhm.
You have the opportunity to use wits awareness and aspects.
I just got more milliliters. Ooh.
Well, if I can add my aspects, that's 3
There
more
you go.
dice.
And you could use a willpower because this seems vaguely more important. Important.
This seems more important.
A little more important.
It can't be worse than the last
That's a
one.
terrible lie. It could just be the same, which is the worst.
That's not worse though. It's just the same. It's better, okay? It went better. I got 3
Wow.
successes.
What are your special ears
It's a lot
here?
of dice.
So, what are you
Special
choosing
ears.
here? Always.
Always.
Okay. All right.
To hear things.
I guess I don't have to get creative. Okay. Jerk. So as you round the corner, the absolute faintest tink, 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 tink sound is heard, and it's unmistakable. The cracking of glass.
So there's glass cracking somewhere, but that that could just still be the window that you
but
broke.
it also could be the
That's
the
really
glass
far away.
door that I think Diana was in front of and put like a bunch of ice on. Was it glass? Yeah, there was a whole mirror there. There was a whole thing.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Does that mean we have to go over there? We have to go check it out because we heard something.
Man, it sounds like such
No, it's a
bad
terrible idea, but also if she dies, no boon,
No boon.
vote.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we could do what we did last time and find another building that's
Yeah,
nearby
we can make our
to
way
see
closer. And
from. Mhm. And if it's just the one car, I think you could handle knocking out one dude.
I mean, if you ask nicely.
I would love to
I'm
watch you knock
100%
out
gonna
one
knock out an
FBI
FBI
agent.
agent. How many dudes are in this fucking parking lot?
Oh my! This poor bastard.
How many guys? I gotta show off.
You know, if his car went flying and destroyed the monorail.
So you
There
could,
is too much toxic masculinity in her bones. She's like, no, I gotta show off for pretty ladies. It's too late.
Yeah.
I have to.
The pretty lady covered in
The
blood.
pretty lady wants me to knock a man unconscious. I'll do it. Consider it done. I feel like Billy would appreciate. I feel like he's the kind of guy who'd knock a man
Yeah.
unconscious.
He's on this. He's all for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, Billy's on board.
Jesse has probably been impressed for generations on just a cascading pile of growing corpses made by Billy.
She'd be so impressed with me. I killed so many people this week. That's fine. That was before Billy even got here. I don't even think I've killed anybody since Billy like showed up. I feel like I've
I don't think
been
so.
trying to hold back on that a little bit after the Billy thing. Yeah, let's make our way closer. Let's go check it out.
So instead of making a left at this intersection, you guys cross it diagonally. And to your left is this car with a deep dark tint on its windows. It's a late model Ford Fusion. Oh, it's super suspect. And to your right is the monorail. You know that the mirror is above it.
What's the
Or on
easiest
the
way to
platform.
get-
Well,
Are
the
we
way
able to
normal
get-
people would get there is by going into this closed mall.
No, that's not
Um,
us.
Crazy people might, they might go across the street into a rooftop bar and try to jump onto the monorail platform.
That sounds familiar. That sounds good.
I feel like that bar's closed.
Yeah, I feel like we can't get
now,
into the
but-
same bar we used last time, but we can certainly figure out a way to get over there. But we should check out this car, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Iris, I just need to know. I just need to know what we're doing here. I'm just saying my idea is not subtle. Is that okay?
We already run this much. I guess it's fine.
Thank you.
Mhm. Make the boon bigger.
Oh,
So
yeah,
Tia and
she
Iris,
sees
I will
us
give
do
you the
stuff.
benefit of the doubt here in that you are not approaching this vehicle from the front.
That would be
No.
very bold.
It is looking, the vehicle is parked in such a way as to be looking down towards the coast and the main entrance of the Westlake Center.
Mm.
If you could imagine, the street canyon continues on the street straight west down into the water.
Okay. Iris, if your ears are still,
Oh,
doing the thing, can you tell how many people are in that car?
I can try to listen.
Just curious.
Do I need to roll
Oh yeah,
again?
totally.
Nice.
Just curious.
Okay.
I'm trying to plan ahead.
So that's this many dice. See, I did better that time and got 5.
Ooh.
clear as day, there are two heartbeats, sets, one after the other.
There's two of
That
them in
makes it a
there.
little harder for my less murdery approach.
And as of right now, the heartbeats are very regular.
We'll never know. How are the heartbeats? Nathan?
We'll never know
I mean,
how their
like, they are
heartbeats
not-
How
are.
are their heartbeats?
They are not accelerating.
Okay. It would
Oh.
just that's where your voice cut out. So it was just their heartbeat.
It
went
Nothing, and we're like, oh
robo.
god.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So they're just chilling.
They're sound really relaxed right now.
God.
Like not asleep level, but
Mm.
not alerted by anything.
Gosh, we could probably just get past them if they're not doing anything, but that just seems,
Could we set something off like down a block or something and make them go that way?
Are you also asking for like a give me a boon for a distraction? Because I'll just take boons from everybody.
I'm just saying, if we're wanting them to not pay attention to this monorail,
Huh.
we could do something that way to lead them away from here.
That's true. I could also throw that car. I'm just putting it out there. I was gonna like break the window in and just kind of like hit the person's face on something until they were unconscious, but there's two of them, and that sounds harder.
Could you? Okay, this sounds
No,
awful.
please don't.
Could you break the window and hit the one with the other's face? Knock them both out at once.
Iris, I could certainly try. I could certainly try.
Could you do it for me?
You don't even have to ask. Yeah, I'm about to like climb in the car with those guys. Hey, boy!
I have a tiny handgun on me to help in case things go bad.
That's true. How about you start trying to find a way to get where Diana is, and I'll
Okay.
go deal with them. I think it's doable. I'll start yelling if shit's bad. And if it is, I feel like I lost my touch.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I would like you to also be fine.
If I'm just climbing, I should be okay.
Okay. I'll distract
I would
them
think so.
with unconsciousness. And you'll get to Diana, and then I'll be right behind you. Okay. See you in a bit. All right. Tears going for the car.
And I will go look for a way to climb up. I'm sure I can climb up to this
Yeah.
bar with it closed and jump again.
You could do that. You could also just try to picture in your mind that the monorail itself stops here at this platform that's open to the second layer.
Mm.
The exercise of getting from the bar to jumping across the street was specifically geared towards someone who needed to jump. You look up at the monorail and the Westlake Mall sidewalk to the left, and you think that you could probably actually just straight climb the monorail. It's
That sounds simpler.
it's within the realm of possible for someone who can use traversal.
Okay. That's probably how I'll head up there then. Much faster than doing two things.
So you walk down the street a little bit to the far northeast corner of Westlake, and there the monorail turns around the corner of the building and comes closest to the structure wall at that junction than at any other point. Go ahead and summon the power of blood and roll me a dexterity athletics check.
Oh, and I need to do a rouse check too. I succeeded. That's my first die that's been a crit today. Still my first die, but I
That'll
got 4
do it.
successes.
You look left, look right, and Iris gracefully hops up against the side of the monorail pillar and jumps back to the face of the building, and then back to the pillar, and then steps lithely up onto the platform, having worked your way up from right to left. You are at the far northeastern platform now. It's a short hallway down, it's a short ways down the side of the building to where the mirror was, and there's no Diana there. And the mirror looks funny from this distance.
Okay. Well, I'll get closer since I don't see anyone else up there for now. See if she shows back up.
Let's go see what's going on with the mirror.
Oh, now I feel bad that I'm not there. I'm just causing unnecessary
I know.
problems.
I get to see spooky mirror
Yeah, you
stuff
can go
without
to
you.
spooky mirror. I'm about to just ruin some guy's night.
Well, at least, hopefully it's not Ramirez.
Oh, it'd be like, hey!
Hey!
It is head into somebody else. Hey, man! What are you up to? Okay, so there's nothing to like. There's not like a bunch of other cars. It's just like this car.
So you are walking along the street, and these are parallel parked cars facing away from you. You're now on the right side of the street. So there are indeed other parallel parked cars. They're not every space is taken because it is 3:15 a.m.
Okay. I am going to try to stealthily make my way over to the driver's side.
So raw stealth
Or
here,
whichever
so
one's
go
on
ahead
like
and-
a parking sidewalk side. I'm sorry, what's the roll, Nathan?
stealth and dexterity.
Stealth, dexterity. All right, Billy, you might enjoy this. I'm also going to use Shadow Cloak to add 2 to this.
All right.
The guy deserves to have some fun occasionally before I like destroy his soul at some point. And then stealth. Okay. That's not good enough. I'm going to use a willpower. Billy could help a little, that'd be appreciated. Okay, put these to the side. Okay, 3. You'd think Mr. Shadow's a lot.
He was napping.
He was like, what?
What?
I'm allowed to
I'm here.
participate.
I mean, what's up?
Well, first, let's see what happens with these.
One guy, eyes like a hawk.
You crouch down behind a Prius, and just as you round the corner onto the street side, the shadow cast by Westlake Mall in the moonlight wavers over, pushing into the middle of the street, covering your advance. You crouch all the way up to the back taillight of the door. And at that moment, you're close enough now that you can kind of see in the tinted windows. Two men are sitting and talking. One of them looks to the other. We good for this checkup? Yeah, nothing to report. Alpha, this is Team 3. Nothing to report. And you can see this radio gets raised up and used. And along the side of the car is the outline of an arm, fingers outstretched, sliding up to the window, and then curling inside, and then beginning to reach up towards either that man's neck or the radio.
After the part where you said the hand started to reach into the window, you roboted. So what happened after that?
Oh! The hand curls around the window, in reaching up towards either the radio or the man's neck. No way to know.
Huh.
I'm roboting, aren't I?
Yeah, I was able to catch that though. That one was better. You only robot at very intense moments for some reason. I'm just like, no. Tears just like watching, eyes squinted, like, yeah. My man, I'm not the fucking boss of you. I'd love to see what this hand's doing. I'm just curious.
When are we getting replaced? And immediately this guy tenses up as that hand reaches around his neck and constricts. He's kicking and pawing at his neck. His buddy is reaching over towards him, trying to do something, but they are two
Tag team.
mortals dealing with something far beyond
Did you get the shadow hand power, or is that
No, he's just doing stuff on his own. He's a big strong boy.
Billy's doing. Billy's helping.
Actually helping for once, and I'm not going to dissuade him today. But I am going to help him. Oh, that just leaves another guy, and that was my whole plan all along. I am. Oh no, the team up of the century.
He just wants to be part of the team. For real.
He just wants to help. I am going to do prowess, some Hulk hands. I don't get hungry, or I got scared for half a second. Okay, don't get hungrier. And I want to take out the window on the driver's side. Billy's not going to handle both of them at the same time. I'll give him a hand.
So I'm not gonna make you roll to punch through this window.
Mhm.
There is more than enough power in your blood to completely destroy this vehicle in its entirety.
Yes.
The window simply will not hold up. You shatter your way
Longer
in
than window.
and stick your head in and are immediately greeted by two absolutely terrified faces.
Howdy.
The agent being choked looks up at you and continues to croak. The other one absolutely dives down towards his buddy's legs, crotch into the area where the pedals are.
Yeah, no. I'd love to, like, if I can get an arm on that guy and pull him back towards me, I would just love for him to not be conscious anymore. My goal is not murder. I don't know what Billy's about. I know what Billy's about, but I'm going to pretend I don't know what Billy's about. I would love to just get this guy handled. A gentle squeeze of the throat.
Go ahead and roll
Gentle,
strength
casual.
athleticism or strength brawl for me.
Strength brawl. These are the things we live for. And I don't think... No, prowess doesn't help me with this. It just adds to the damage. Good. Good. That's so many ones, but also a lot of nines. That was... God. What a terrible thing to feel failure on if I did. 1, 2, 3,
Just be
4,
joining
5.
Billy in your murder.
Then I'd be fully in. Gosh, I wish they were 10s. Well, then that guy'd be dead. Never mind. 5 successes.
He leans over kind of in front of you, pointing the top of his head at your chest as he's digging around in the foot area of the car for something. You reach onto the scruff of his neck and haul him up out of the vehicle like a kitten. And just chuck him into the street. You did that all by his neck. He's a big dude and he was well put together, but this is an awful thing to happen to anybody. He hits the ground like a rag doll and sprawls. With him, clattering to the asphalt, is the radio
Yeah.
that he was reaching for. You
I
look.
want that.
Just before you completely like exit the car and pull your face out of it, you look over at the driver's face, and it has turned completely this wretched blue. Deep lines go up the side of his face towards his eyes, and you turn back the other way towards the street, and the shadow has grown completely out to cover the other sidewalk now. And it is thick and inky black.
It's always on the spooky descriptions. It's spread across to the other side of the sidewalk, and then what?
And it is thick and inky black.
Okay. Is guy in car like unconscious? Has he fallen into unconsciousness during this?
His eyes are still wide and looking at you. He's dying right in front of you. It is completely unmistakable.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't the game plan. I invited Billy to this party. This is what I get. This is my fault. My main goal is to get to that radio. And if I can shut down Billy in the process, that would be great. But if I can only have one focus, it's the radio.
Let's focus on the radio, and then
Okay.
we'll do something
Okay.
to have a little sit down with Mr. Walker.
Yeah. Seems like he wants to chat. Sure.
So the other agent hits the ground, sprawls, and raises his gaze up with a bloody nose, a rash on the side of his cheek, and immediately it locks onto that radio. Go ahead and roll me dexterity athletics
Gosh, just
to see who makes it to this radio first.
willy-nilly today. I'm going to rouse the blood to add 1 to dexterity.
Okay.
I get hungrier. Ooh. Just looked at my hunger. Good. This is a good situation. I'm sorry, dexterity what? I got distracted by adding a hunger.
Athletics. Dexterity athletics.
Okay, cool. I love to see. God, there's a lot of ones. Just a lot of ones. I'm gonna use a willpower. God, no, God. I have to. I'm the distraction. God damn it. Oh, this guy better be slow. 3.
The two of you get up on the balls of your feet. You reach for the radio, and this mortal flies through,
This fucking
grabbing it, and you're on top of him in a dog pile immediately. he's going to get onto that key, and he's going to have time to say something with what's left of his life.
That's valid.
What is your intent at this point? Bear in mind the quickest solutions are going to have, or the quickest actions are going to have the most impact on what he's able to say.
Ooh. Shit. We came in here to be non-lethal, but it feels like lethal is the quickest option. God damn it. This fucking guy is too fast. They're all so fast. I mean, my intention is to make it so he can't say anything. That's the goal, is to make him unable to talk. I don't know if grabbing for the radio is fast. I think that's the less dangerous to him option. But I would go for the face. The goal is to make him stop talking, to not let him talk into the radio. However, that may lean. And if you need me to choose specifically, I will choose specifically if necessary.
So here's
but the goal is to make him not talk.
Here's what I want. What we're gonna do. He's talking into this mic. He is fighting you to keep the mic away, the radio away from you. But he's not brawling. Go ahead and roll strength brawl for me, just like you normally would, with all its terrifying power. And you tell me how many of these successes you would like to keep, and maybe how many you don't want to keep. And I'll tell you what happens.
Strength. Athletics. It got really quiet. The AC turned off in my house, and now I just can hear my own heartbeat. Oh, God. Okay. So we're currently looking at 6. Do I want to keep all 6 is the question.
That is the question.
That is the question I was presented with. God damn.
Just a little refresher on the rules of how you work. You have activated prowess, which means that you add your prowess to damage.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And you come stock with
Yes, there's already 3.
with lethal body.
Which does aggravated damage.
Correct.
How much aggravated damage can a normal person take? I don't know a normal person's.
Probably not 9.
Already does. I will.
Probably significantly less than 9, actually.
I believe that because like mine is 9, and if he had the same health as me, that'd be a lot. Sorry, everybody watching me have an existential crisis for Tyr. I will. God, that's still so much damage. If I took away like all of my dice, it still feels like a lot of damage. I'm going to just take 3 of them. So it's 6 instead of 9 altogether. It's a pulled punch, but it's still a lot of damage, so I don't know.
he kind of pirouettes away from you, trying to get his head and the radio as far away as possible. And as soon as you get that outstretched arm, you immediately suck it in and just push a whole ham fist directly through this area of the mortal.
Fuck.
The mic keys up. And his face is spaghetti. It looks like a bomb went off. The jaw explodes and he goes to the pavement. He's not moving. He might still live,
Oh my god!
but he is absolutely maimed. And the mic keyed up for a brief second. Maybe they heard something, maybe they didn't. People just, when a whole like 30, 40 people are on mics, like sometimes they just key up and it's just like it clicks and everyone's like, wow, someone's sitting on their mic. Maybe so,
Maybe
maybe
he
not.
destroyed the thing instead.
How's the guy in the car doing? How's that guy?
His empty gaze is staring at you, rolled to the side.
Is there a manhole cover anywhere?
Go ahead and roll me streetwise and intelligence.
Neat. I feel like Tyr has slight tunnel vision anyways. Intelligence. Streetwise. Mostly hunger dice. Okay. 1 success.
You saw a whole bunch of manhole covers when you guys were down near Takeshi Plaza. It would be a little ways to drag him that far.
Yeah.
There are alleyways around here. There are dumpsters if you're just looking to dispose of body, but you can't remember any underground access here.
Great. Good. I think leaving them here is a bad idea, and I'm just going to pick up the radio. And I am going to put these dead men in a dumpster in an alleyway.
And I think that's where we're going to take our 10-minute break.
Good.
Thank you for hanging with us. We're having some technical difficulties. We'll try and address them before you get back. Have yourself a snack. We will see you in 10 minutes. Welcome back. We just barely made it. There was a sprint to an alleyway with corpses in hand. A hasty retreat, and a bloody crime scene. That's where we're going to leave Tyr. Iris.
Good. I need a minute.
Yeah.
The mirror. It is filled with this roiling black smoke that you'd recognize anywhere. It no longer reflects. It reflects the platform as you know it, but it is completely full of gray and inky darkness on the other side. And just up in the corner where Diana had touched it earlier, and you can still see the trails of her blood that run down that side. Cracks are beginning to form that trace those lines down.
Well,
You got
then.
this.
Oh man, I don't know how to fix this.
Shit.
Oh man. So, my only thought is to put my own blood there to maybe try to make it stronger and stay so they can get through. So, I'll go add more blood to the wall.
Hell
Why
yeah.
not?
Perfect.
That's all we can do. I have no magic, but it doesn't matter.
Go ahead and make an intelligence roll.
Yeah? Intelligence with what?
Add occult if you have it.
Oh.
I have a whole 1 die then.
One
Yeah.
dice. One
One.
dice.
I think I did have a cult at one point when I first made my character, and then I said she wouldn't know anything. Yeah, oh, I still got 1 success. But that's all I can do.
Iris, you have no idea what you're doing, but you have this general notion that everything runs on blood. Everything does. And there are no exceptions to that, as far as you know. You dig a fang into your palm and let a little bit of blood come out. Please make a rouse check for me.
Of course. We'll pull out one of my big dice for this. Oof. That's a 1.
Good.
That's fine. I'm hungry.
Oh, indeed you are. The vitae wells up in your palm, and you just slap it right where you remember Diana's hand was. And it makes that squelch sound as your blood forms a vacuum and pushes outwards. And immediately you can feel on your fingertips the cracks and the immediate negative pressure sensation of those cracks hungrily drinking up your vitae.
Oh my god, it's a vampire mirror.
Ooh.
Vampire mirror.
You can join the team, Vampire Mirror.
It drinks.
I guess I'm gonna hang
It
out
drinks,
here.
and you have this immediate reaction of your ears. They don't. You know that this didn't happen, but it feels like they just popped. Like you've been around some money recently and gone diving in Australia, and the sensation of going deep with a tank and learning to pop your ears, this is what that felt like. And the immediate and the sensation of pressure, not just on your eardrums, but on the surface of your flesh. Before the platform was completely quiet, now through water in a distant cave, you hear the sounds of yelling in faint staccato. Diana's voice. Walter, he's gone! Walter screams.
Oh no.
And moments pass. The cracks drink. Why don't you go ahead and make me another rouse check?
Right. Fingers crossed.
What are you at?
3.
Okay.
I passed that one.
Wow.
That one I'm okay.
The screaming continues. You hear Diana calling Walter's name. And you can feel the gravelly scrape of expensive shoes digging into the rough grit of the platform surface. And as a complete shock, fingers close around yours at the mirror.
No thanks.
Gripping. Diana steps through, heaving, hauling against your hand in the edge of the mirror to brace herself and pull to the other side.
I will help her through with my tiny bit of strength. And I can.
She falls to the pavement and looks up at you. Oh, good, you're keeping it open. Stay there. He's gonna make it.
Are they? They're both coming, right?
I'll help. And she bites into her palm and reaches up to help you in yours.
All right, guess we're gonna keep doing this.
Walter was right behind me. Another rouse check.
Mm-hmm. Passed that one too.
Diana puts her hand right on top of yours, and her vitae hits the back of your hand, and you can feel it being sucked through the webbing of your fingers. Two of your blood mixes and then is gone, pulled to the other side. And there's no way for the two of you to really feel time passing when you're attached to the mirror, except by the loss of blood. But it feels like an eternity before Walter tumbles onto the platform. His suit is in ribbons. He gets up onto all fours and looks up at you with his mountain of a face, and it is wretched and wrinkled and almost purple with the cold. You witch! You did this! And he lunges for Diana.
I'll try to pull her out of the way.
Um,
She's right on top of my hand. She's right there.
yeah, indeed she is. Okay, let's all have have some fun.
This man needs to chill out.
Go ahead and make you can roll strength brawl, but go ahead and add your celerity to this.
Okay. That's a lot of dice, so.
Ooh.
Actually, yeah, that doesn't work. Roll brawl and celerity. How about that?
Celerity? Okay. It's only 2
I like that
less.
I like that with
Fine.
Auspex against humans because you're supposed to have a crap ton of dice against them. So.
I still got 4 successes.
He lunges for Diana's waistcoat. It's in a little bit better shape than his, but not by much. Catches the lapel, but you're able to pull her upright and out of the way, and he stumbles, gripping at the edge of her coat and going down to his knees. Where did she take him? I know that you know. Walter, please, we will figure this out.
Calm down. What I just got here after leading the FBI everywhere across this city for you, both of you. What
I
happened?
will not calm down. Michael is gone. That
Okay, we can find him. We found him once.
Billy's psychopathic whore took him. He might even already have been gone.
If Jesse has him, we'll definitely go find her. You know, Michael will be fine. We'll deal with Jesse. God, she's so insane.
Oh, Jesse will be dealt with. And he looks over at Diana, and I am going to clean out this rabbit hole exactly as far as it goes. All of it. You'll get no issue from me, Walter. Please let the Tremere clan know if there is anything we can do to help you.
None of us want Jesse to have Michael. None of us are on her side.
I am not on her side. I am not on your side. I am on the side that gets Michael back.
Then it sounds like you're probably on our side because no one else is going to do it. We are probably one of the few groups that actually care enough about him to help you.
Diana, I'm going to Harborview. Dusk tomorrow. I'm tearing that place apart. And I will help you. That seems like an excellent plan. Iris, dear, I don't think you or your friends should involve yourselves in this. It's going to be an issue. Jesse has to be stopped, and it's not a good look if the three of you are involved.
And you believe you'd be able to get Michael back without us?
I've managed for many generations before you got here, and I think I will make do for one night when you're gone. I'm still owed Michael. If I don't get him, everyone pays every night until I do.
I'll speak with the others. If anything, maybe we'll be near the area. In case you need help. I'd love to say I believe that you can handle it, Diana, but I'm pretty sure this trip through the mirror is a fairly quick one, and you managed to lose him there.
Child, you barely understand which orifice the blood goes in. Don't talk about this mirror like you know it.
I understood it enough to keep it open so you would get out.
Anyways, it's a lovely plan, Walter. I shall see you at dusk tomorrow. She brushes herself off, pulls open the emergency exit to the back into the mall and walks into the darkness. Walter sits down onto the bench. And I think it's probably time that Tyr is able to see this going down.
I'll ask him, do you think she can handle saving Michael for you? Or do you want us to be there?
I absolutely believe that she can handle saving Michael. My primary concern is whether or not she created this situation in the first place. I am not trying to be condescending, but you recall my trepidation about walking through this mirror with no assurances. And playing a witch's game.
There's also no way to know that she was the one that let Jesse in.
How many people could? It's a real short list.
And I guess you know everyone to talk to.
I hope she's there at dusk. Harborview's not a mirror.
If she's not.
It's a flesh and blood place.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how the witches do here in the real world.
No. It's getting fairly early, so tomorrow it is. Not sure if we'll be there, so need to talk to the other two. But do I notice that Tyr's coming over at all?
Tyr, there's no longer a real reason for stealth as the FBI have been dispatched.
That's great. I would not go over to the team, though, if Billy is still active. If he's gone, I'm fine going over.
As you have buried these promising young lives in a pile of trash.
Hmm.
The shadow receded back to its original position, slowly subsiding. And when you walk back across the street, the darkness is in all the places that it should be.
Great. Good. Good. Yeah, I'd go to the platform. Me climb.
There's Iris. She's walking. I'm assuming your conversation with Walter is over. He seems intent on sitting on this park bench and thinking for at least a few more moments.
He can hang out on the bench as long as he wants.
Iris and Tyr rendezvous at the top of an escalator.
What happened?
I guess somehow Jesse got into the weird mirror and took Michael.
Huh. Okay. I mean, if she doesn't want to wait for Elysium, that's fine by me.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like either of them want us to be there to help save him. But I know where they're planning to be.
Okay.
So maybe we check in with Mary before we make a plan.
They should learn their lesson. They should never give locations if they don't want us to be anywhere.
Yeah,
Right?
First off, we'll be there.
It's just, are we gonna be stealthily there?
Yeah. How there will we be? Also, I don't know. We'll talk about it later. We can talk about it later. Let's get back to the museum. I have this, and just pulls out the walkie-talkie. I got an FBI walkie-talkie, so I have that going for me, which is nice.
It's a lot more portable than the thing that we got for the car that we never set up.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Puts it back in her pocket. All right, let's get
I'm just gonna take that as meaning it went well since you have a souvenir.
It worked out. Let's go. And we'll hoof it back to the museum.
It's only a few more blocks. The two of you quickly find yourselves on an elevator, whooshing upwards. You didn't encounter Charlie's army on the way here.
Huh.
Thank
You
goodness
saw
for
bits and
that.
pieces of it, but it had dispersed. Parts of it had headed towards the concourse, but they all appeared to have good enough sense to stay well away from it.
That's smart, yeah. Fucking Jesse.
She's everywhere.
And if no one has anything else, the three of you meet up on a balcony as dawn approaches.
So Iris, you were there when the things happened, so you can explain it better to Mary than I can.
Oh gosh. Well, it was a lot happened in a few seconds. But essentially Diana's meter was failing, so I had to use my blood to keep it open. It was really weird. And she came out, and then Walter came out and said that Michael was kidnapped by Jesse inside of this weird mirror, and Walter thinks it's Diana's fault. Thinks that he set the whole thing up to take Michael away from him, and is now claiming, that we didn't keep up our side of the deal because he doesn't have Michael. But they
Michael's
don't want
gone?
us. Yeah, Michael's gone. He's with Jesse now, apparently.
Oh, well, I remember like when they were going in, there's like a third figure, but I thought it was like Diana. Probably was.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like this weird black smoky stuff. I think might have been related to her. Not entirely sure.
So, I mean, obviously they're gonna try to get
They're
Michael
planning
back.
to tomorrow. Diana doesn't want us to be there. She thinks it'd be a bad idea if we're associated with it since Jesse's involved.
I mean, is she wrong?
Uh,
I. Oh well. If we can kind of like be nearby in case something happens. I mean, but they are like super strong. If they're both gonna be there, that's like two primogens versus a whole. I mean, that's two primogens.
Yeah. It was also 2 versus her inside the weird mirror, but they didn't seem to want to talk about that.
Right. Right. You're saying like they kind of lost some. But I mean,
I don't
at
know.
least they're prepared,
I-
right? Like I feel like they can do much more than we can.
I would hope so, but I'm not sure if there's actually something to maybe Diana was part of Michael getting taken somehow. Because
If I were Diana and I were to pull like a stunt like this, it's something that might make sense because it makes the La Sombra more suspicious.
and she did originally not want to give Michael back.
Right. Well, Yeah.
I personally don't think Diana's involved with this. I think it makes it too messy. But I've known her for 5 minutes. So
I mean, it's a possibility, but I feel like even if it were true, it's kind of in our favor.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it basically gave her an excuse to go after Jesse before Elysium to basically like if she's not there in Elysium somehow, it eliminates the need for your trial. And yeah, I mean, it also makes us look good because it makes them look good at least because they saved a Ventrue kin from La Sombra. So, I mean, it doesn't seem, even if she did put it together, it's
yeah.
kind of a win for them.
I actually think I might have just thought of a thing. Walter said that there's only a few people that could have gotten her into the mirror in the first place because it's like a witch spell or whatever. If Jessie ain't Malcolm, she just might be able to do that herself. Yeah.
I wrote a note that says, "Is it Malcolm?"
You just want to kill Malcolm.
It's
You're just like,
two
yeah, we're
birds,
looking for you.
one stone.
Now we have to go.
No, we have to kill Malcolm.
I don't know if it's. God, this is hard. I don't know if I should go.
Well, okay. We should like have some kind of surveillance at least, or either if we do go, we could just watch from afar and observe from afar. If we don't, maybe we have some way to find out what's going on there?
Yeah. I think it's going to be very hard for me not to be involved.
Okay.
It's just a feeling.
Well, how much time do we have? I guess we know.
We could
Um,
go right now. We deal with it now.
No.
Problem
No.
solved.
She did say, yeah, she did say like don't. Did she say don't go now? She said don't go tomorrow,
She said don't go
right?
tomorrow. What if we go today?
Right.
I don't think we have very much time to get there today.
Yeah, no, it would be a bad idea. Do we know where this
Harbor.
harbor
All of you would probably recognize it. Mary would be able to navigate there easily. Harborview refers to a massive hospital in the heart of Seattle.
Ah,
Hospital.
like hang out at a hospital? You think they're little night nurses? That'd be fun.
Oh, it's not that far away from where we are. Google Maps says so.
We could walk there right now.
You could actually.
Yeah.
We could just walk over there and go die right now if we wanted to.
I feel like the FBI are still a little too much active in the area, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe a little less active than they were before, but I think it's too late to go.
Yeah, that sucks.
But it's
I mean,
close.
if you guys,
It's close enough to easily do surveillance, though.
Yeah. Seems they're going there early. So
Yeah.
does Catherine know about this?
I-
Probably not.
are
Maybe
we
we want to
supposed
let
to
her
tell
know.
Catherine?
Yeah, like who
Yeah,
tells Catherine?
is Diana gonna tell Catherine? Do we have to tell Catherine? Like, doesn't seem like we should have to tell Catherine, but
It doesn't, but
Right.
they're all so bad at communicating.
they're terrible at communicate. They have fancy ass phones, can't communicate.
Maybe we should just go tell her. She's right
Well,
there.
well, maybe we should at least ask her opinion. So, Catherine, what do you think of? And it should be, oh wow, I'm shocked that happened.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, I think we should go find
Yeah.
Catherine.
We have enough time for that
Yeah.
still tonight.
Yeah.
And we'll be inside, and if not, we just pass out on the floor, right?
Right.
It'll just work. Just fall over. Yeah. I personally have no idea how to navigate this place, so I'm just going to follow somebody.
I'll lead the way.
I've already forgotten.
You guys quickly find Catherine. Iris, in your earlier tour, on the other side of the statue of Sippy is Catherine's study.
Hmm.
The door is open and you can see her scribbling away in a journal.
They all have so many journals.
They do.
It's a good habit. It's a good hobby.
How to stay sane over the decades.
Well, I mean, if they don't let themselves use like any electronics, that they have to have something.
Gotta do something.
Oh, good. The three of you are still up.
So you know.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Good.
I was like, okay.
But do we do all the same
Well,
thing?
I think they.
Diana informed me that she has a task to complete.
Well, I think they can handle it. I'm sure Diana's a powerful vampire wizard. You know, so
That she is.
how do you think this? I mean, like, how do you think this happened? Or why? I mean, well, I do know that Billy doesn't want the kid to be reunited for some reason with Ventru.
Stares over.
How do you know this?
I mean, like, sorry, I don't know this. I know
it's
this.
okay. It's okay.
No, the thing is,
Jesse does
Tyr
not.
told you guys about that.
Yeah.
Tyr told you guys that he was trying to give that information to Jesse.
Right.
So you'd vaguely know that. Yeah.
I think that this is a tragedy, and it is easy in moments like this to grow suspicious. And in times like these, I try to work backwards from what I know has to be true. Walter,
You don't think they set this up? Because it's kind of smart. It's not stupid.
she has worked very closely with me to navigate these trying times for months now. She's always been kind of distant, but incredibly reliable. I cannot. I can't. It's hard for me to picture.
Okay.
We know that if someone has Michael and this election occurs, Walter will do what he thinks he needs to do to get his child back.
So they're gonna want to, like, they're trying to hold Michael ransom so that he would vote a certain way.
Whoever is involved with this, certainly Jesse, at a minimum, and anyone else. Cast suspicions as you will.
Huh. I think maybe later we should also have a chat with Jorgen about maybe depleting some funds. Just an opinion.
It might be a good idea at this point.
Now's a good time.
Tonight even is a good time.
Yeah, I think tonight's a good time.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about it. I do think also that it may be that Jessie, it means a lot that she's a leader, but not everyone might agree with her.
That's true. She didn't. Did they say that anybody else was in there with them, or it was just Jesse? I mean, it's like a hallway of shadows, so
say
she's
anyone
like,
else.
gonna kick ass in there, but
Yeah, they didn't say anybody else.
Catherine, what grounds does does this vampire society decide? Like, are there grounds for, like, for example, if Jesse were to die, just keep
if
asking.
somebody died,
Hypothetically, is there a way that seems like justified in the eyes of, like, the vampire society or whoever is deciding justice around here?
Destruction is the sole prerogative and responsibility of the prince.
Okay, I see. So if the prince decides like, yeah, we just need them dead, they'll be that's fine.
I imagine if she calls for justice against Jesse Walker, this will all be a non-issue, and I expect that Walter will ask for that at this point.
So you're saying we just build a case against Jesse, she'll get eliminated, and I mean, maybe, just maybe, right? Like, if the rest of the La Sombra are still okay with it, because only she seems like she's the only one really distraught about the situation of, her partner not being here anymore. It might work out for us, because this is like one count against Miss Jessie. If you think about, yeah, it is. It's not good to be stealing your society's children.
It will be. It would be a serious legal issue for Mrs. Walker if and when she shows up at Elysium at this point.
I think we should. Talk to Princess, actually, and see what he knows that could sway the prince one way or another, and we make things happen to get more counts on Jesse. I mean, I think that's just one path. Because I think, I think that she's the only problem with the La Sombra vote. We've done a lot already for the La Sombra. If she's just out of the picture, I think the chances of them voting are much more likely. But
I
would
have
the
not met the
prince
underlying
eliminate
La
someone
Sombra
who would vote for them?
Who would vote for the prince?
Yeah, like Jesse would probably vote for the prince, maybe.
Ursula would certainly still vote for the prince if she were present. And Walter has been an eternal fence rider throughout this whole endeavor.
I mean,
As long as we trust everyone else, then we should be fine.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I think it's not a bad idea to like get to know how the prince thinks. That's something we can do as well tomorrow if I'll look at the other two.
Catherine, Diana thinks we shouldn't be there. Do you agree with that?
I don't think you should be there either. Simply because Jesse and Harborview in particular they are a particularly dangerous place, and there is no need to expose anyone to that risk that does not absolutely have to be.
Okay.
And I
She's like, all right.
I want to show Diana some trust. I want to do that. I want to let her resolve this issue, get everything back on the straight and narrow, and let justice be done. That is the best outcome, and that's what I'm acting towards.
Well, if either party is working with Jesse, I think the third party is fucked. If Walter decides to work with Jesse to get Michael back, Diana is fucked. If Diana is working with Jesse and Walter goes in there, Walter is fucked. I'd like to think it's, Diana and Walter versus the La Sombra, but we just don't know.
Well, then I think we need to be the first to know if something like that happens.
Mm.
I'm not saying
could be nearby.
that anyone should be anywhere that puts themselves in danger. But if something untoward were to happen, we all need to know immediately. I will have Charlie alert in the area of Harborview.
Okay.
Unfortunately, his army can't go inside, and I hesitate to say that the same should be true of the three of you.
Well, do you have people who can go inside? I'm sure you do. And I'm sure Diane does. She probably has like a blood monster somewhere, like prepared to protect her or something, like a
Oh, that
blood.
sounds pretty cool.
Mm.
Just a big old blood monster.
We do.
Oh shit! There's actually a blood monster.
No.
Monster?
Not a blood monster. Bianca has extensive medical contacts.
Uh,
I guess we could use Bianca. Yeah.
whoever wants to talk to Bianca is welcome to talk to Bianca. I'll be team not
mean-
talk to her.
Mary,
Okay, I mean
you could easily talk to her.
I can talk to Bianca, don't worry.
I was really excited that you guys just had like a big ass fucking monster somewhere. But I guess that's just everybody here
Yeah,
are big blood monsters.
really. Yeah, the only person here that I think could actually go in there is Jorgen, and I don't think we want to put him in that situation.
I'd rather go lay on a gurney in one of the rooms and let Jesse rip
Yeah.
me apart than just send fucking Jorgen in there to go get murdered.
Right. Like you can okay.
Mm,
Mostly because he hasn't been around us for everything going on.
that's true. He's probably just off having a really good time upstairs.
Okay.
He's alone now that Michael's gone.
That makes it sound really sad.
So he's reading his magic books instead of his game books.
He's playing solitaire. It's very sad.
Yeah.
He's playing a game, Human the protagonist.
Well, I'll just put it on the table. I have this FBI radio if anybody wants it at any point.
Hold on. Hey,
What?
Can that thing be tracked?
I don't know. Sucks to suck if it can. I'll throw it out a window.
Just give it to just give it to Catherine.
Maybe we give it to Jorgen.
Oh
see
yeah,
if he
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah, yeah.
fix it.
Yeah. Nobody's really talked to me on it. There's the occasional like boop, but like
How did you get it? You must have dropped it, right?
We dealt with so many FBI tonight.
yeah,
Right.
there was a car. I was able to get the radio out of it.
Yeah. Definitely. they have no shortage of radios.
I'm sure they won't notice a missing radio. I'm sure it won't be a problem.
Absolutely not.
Are we done here?
Yeah, we can go. Catherine, whatever happens tomorrow, I don't know, like how can you keep us updated? If something happens to Diana, how do we find out?
I am intimately connected with Charlie, so inform anyone in his army, and I will know.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna turn in for the day, I guess, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go talk to Jorgen. See if now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
50-50 about it.
Well, I shall see you all at dusk then.
See you at dusk.
Or not, or maybe not see you at dusk, because we might choose not to go. Well, anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Bye
I
bye.
don't think that's what she
I
said.
live here. We might run into each other.
Yeah.
We
Oh.
could run into each other in the house.
Yeah, I live
Or,
here.
like, going out the
This is
elevator.
my house.
Like,
Yeah. Deer's gonna walk back.
Go find Jorgen.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go find our smart friend Jorgen.
Jorgen's just in the main meeting room, as predicted, reading away, but not through his homework, the occult books. He's still reading the game books.
Mm.
Wow.
Hoping Michael comes back.
You ask a guy to look into something for you, and he's like, I already know that's not a thing. Just read the game book. I'm just gonna put the walkie-talkie in front of him. Can this be tracked, or is this just really useful to us now?
Oh shit! Yes, Zagabit tracks.
Fine.
Also, let me. Hey. He reaches out to like stop you from like hucking it out the balcony. Just let me. He holds it in his hand. He focuses on it for a little bit. It's ours now. It can be used with the base station. We can decrypt them. It's just going to have to go
Great.
to the right frequency. It's not. It's just when they are operating in the area, we will know.
Well, that'll be good.
If a bunch of
That'll be useful.
assholes show up outside and point bazookas at the Seattle Art Museum, so this will tell us when they are coordinating.
Well, I think it'll take him half a minute to know it was missing. I think we might have been good at. Anyways, thanks. Also, Jesse stole Michael. Do you think we should drain that bank account?
Oh, God.
Like a band-aid. You just got to rip it off.
What?
Yeah.
Of course. Fuck them. What was?
Oh,
maybe we trade the money for Michael. We could just get Michael back.
I feel like this is not a good idea. We don't want to implicate ourselves at the moment. We want to keep like good relations with the other La Sombra, even though Jesse took Michael. That's kind of just what I think.
Well, I guess if we find out all the Lasombra took Michael,
Oh yeah, then we can drain them.
yeah, that's a solid
Probably
thought process.
harder.
We can wait half a day.
If they were in on this, then they broke the deal.
That's
Well-
true.
Yeah.
We gave them Jesse. We gave them their phone. They technically owe Jessica a boon. With Jesse gone, they might fulfill that boon. Or they might just flee the city and that's good enough.
Yeah.
Hell, they might have fled the city. I don't know. I don't know how loyal they are to each other.
Well, we can find out. They certainly weren't smart enough to flee their bank account, so they haven't gotten far.
I mean, it would be nice if we could like talk to one of them, but that I guess it's a little suspicious.
Yeah. Who's the easy to talk to one? Presley?
Yeah, the
I
ones
think
who made the trade.
Presley, Kaczynski,
And Liam.
that group.
I think
Liam.
Presley would be the easiest way in, but I have no idea how we would just find Presley. It would.
Yeah.
I think this is just going to have to be the shit show that it is tomorrow.
I'm gonna.
The other moms might know where they all stay usually and how to contact them.
Maybe.
I'm gonna text Bianca. Hey Bianca, Michael's gone. Smiley face.
That doesn't mean anything bad. It could be a good thing. Smiley face makes it feel okay. He's gone. Oh, good.
It takes a minute for you to get a response. Michael? Venture kiddo?
Yeah. Ventruca, they think it's Jesse who took him. What can I add to that? Yeah, I guess that's it. That's my text.
Make us sound like we're doing something cool about it. Like we're gonna get. Shit done
Do
or
you
something.
think the rest of the Sombra are in on this?
I think that whole gang is just a bunch of street rats. Rough up my place. Now they're stealing venture kids.
That doesn't make them look good.
Mommy
No.
Right should come down hard on them.
That's very. I can't believe I'm thinking. Is this like an evil thought? We should like keep Michael stolen because that makes them look worse. But anyway,
It also might make us lose a vote.
it could. Yeah, that's
And then
true.
if Jesse's still alive, that's 2 votes against us. I'm here for evil shit, but also Jesse may not be there to vote. We don't know.
She
is
might
there
not
any
make
way to? I'm gonna text. Is there a way to talk to the gentlemen who were at the club last night. 2 nights ago.
Time is a blur.
When we were there.
Yeah, when we were there. That is not someone who's not Jesse.
Before their little business enterprise, the prince gave him the hospital. That's where they'd be.
But Jesse's gonna be there.
That's what I meant. They're a bunch of incorrigible juveniles. Thick as thieves, always together.
Okay.
So what does your mom want us to do?
Um, this is like we're like, Dad, can I go to the mall? No.
Yeah,
And
we
then,
just
Mom,
keep
can I go
asking
to
different parents until somebody says we can go to the hospital.
until someone says yes.
But Bianca said we could go.
You're supposed to ask Bianca to send somebody in.
I'll text. Deanna says we should stay out of it. What do you think about that? Well, I mean us, like, yeah.
If Mommy Wright needs help with justice, the ministry is always here to help.
I love mommy.
I'm gonna
Wright.
show the text to the other two.
So if it is confirmed by the prince that this is, ruin Jesse's day kind of thing, then it seems we have a lot of support. Do you think they're going to go through the proper channels? Like Walter seems like a channels guy, but like I saw that dude dejected sitting on a bench. I don't know how many like hoops he's going to jump through to get this done. I don't know how the government here works.
I mean, we could always just go to Princess ourselves, and then he'd probably be
I
able
think
to.
we should talk to Princess to kind of understand his mom more. I think that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But also, the first thing we need to establish tomorrow is some kind of way to have surveillance. Like, I don't know whether it's to get someone to tell us what's going on, so that we know, like, in case something happens, we would know.
So Princess doesn't like me. I can set up near the hospital while you guys go talk. I have a phone. I contact you if something happens.
Okay.
I think you might get more out of Princess if I'm not present. Unless we're roughing up Princess, then it's the opposite. But I don't think that's what we're doing.
Do you think somebody should
Kind
be
of a blurred
with
line
you?
there.
'Cause-
I mean,
We're not staking him tomorrow. That's late.
you could bring Jorgen. How about that? Jorgen's not doing anything, right? Jorgen.
No?
Yeah, you could read your books there.
Yeah, if you feel comfortable with that. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty big fight.
Is Diana gonna be? She's there.
She's going to be there.
But you guys are going to be
We're
doing
going to be
surveillance
outside.
from outside.
So we would not be interacting.
Try not to, please. I mean, just really try.
That's kind of why you would be going, Jorgen, to help make sure
I
there's
do
no
Jorgen.
not
fighting.
need to be babysat.
You said just a little bit ago you didn't know if you could be there and
I
not get
was
involved.
just going to be outside. I wasn't going to be inside. If I go inside, I'm getting involved.
Right.
These are valid reasons to worry. I can be fine on my own. I am also fine if somebody would like to be there, but I think you two are a good bet for talking to Princess.
Okay. All right. Well,
Mhm.
I think we have a plan. I mean, whatever else we do tomorrow, I mean, I've got some ideas as well to get other things like spinning, other cogs working tomorrow in case we don't go in. So
Mhm.
whether we go in or not, I've got ideas.
Okay. can you please tell us if you're going to bring in the big guns? Because I'd love to know way ahead of time before you do something like that.
Yeah,
I don't think we
totally.
should. but
Yeah,
we
I
could.
also don't think it's appropriate, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's like yeah,
It's how
it's
we
a
get
nuclear option.
allies possibly killed if we do that for this. But
Mhm.
Yeah,
who knows how it goes if it goes sideways? You know.
they would be careful. I mean, it is a hospital.
I don't know if they'd be
They
careful.
like blew up a building the other day.
Yeah, but this is a hospital. Make them look really bad.
We watched these guys get out of their cars and pursue us on foot. Like I can't just pick one of them up and like break them in half over my head. They just followed me on foot. Like I can't rip them apart. I just feel like the smart ones exploded.
Well, okay. I don't think we'll involve them in this
Yeah, they
situation.
might just crash their helicopter into the building.
They're like, there's only one way.
All
Look how the
places
guy's
gotta
been dreaming
go.
of this day. He's like,
Like,
finally.
ooh, yeah. He's been watching movies.
Dive is out at the last second. Or parachute.
Live free or die hard.
Yeah,
Like-
no, we can't involve them. They're so. I just feel like they're dumb and fragile. You know.
It's kind of a bad combination.
Yeah, I feel like we already have
Yeah.
a lot of pieces in there. I think we could put small pieces as well, but I don't know if we can put in another big piece.
Yeah, they won't be. I think we should involve them.
Okay, so Jorgen and I will watch. We'll keep you all updated while you go talk to Princess, and then you can join us if it's still
Mhm.
going on, and we'll just all sit in a bench. I don't know where we're gonna be. We'll
Just
figure.
try not to get caught, I guess.
Yeah, we will.
Hopefully they'll be busy with Diana and her group.
Yeah. Would love to see Diana work, anyways. I'd love to see her work. Okay.
Well, we've got a plan. That's
We have
good.
It's
A
wow. We have a
partial
plan like a
plan.
We
day
have
in
a
advance.
plan, you guys.
A whole day in advance. We have a plan.
And
We're
it's not
Whole
that
sleep.
We're doing it.
hmm
Sounds like a good idea. Are there more beds, or should I just go find a corner? Because I've been sleeping in a lot of corners recently, so that's fine.
I don't know.
Or like, I could find a chair. I could sit in a chair
There's
like a person.
there's plenty of nice furniture in my
Yeah, I
room.
could just. I'm sure there's a chaise. I'll figure out something.
It is opulent in here and spacious. There are chairs. There is a shades,
Called it.
and there are 2 bedrooms.
Mm.
See. There's plenty.
All right, I'll set up on the chaise then.
Go find a bedroom.
You get a whole person bed. And then Mary, if you want, you can have the other one.
Yeah.
Tier's gonna stare at a wall. Tier's gonna try and make it look natural by laying on a chaise, but she's just gonna go stare at a wall.
It's such a lonely wall. And then the darkness come for you.
She is grateful for that half a second of darkness.
Mary, go
Uh-huh.
ahead.
Would I know? So I have a contact who's a nurse, right? A surgery
Oh,
nurse.
indeed.
Would I know where he works? Does he hopefully not happen to work exactly where this is gonna happen?
Oh my goodness. Of course he does.
I was like, well, now that he wasn't before.
He
Today.
actually just transferred.
He just transferred.
Well,
Let me. Can
give
I
him
just
our
put
number.
more people on the train tracks? You got any more names for me? Like,
You guys have too many friends. You need no more friends. But if you give him our phone number, he can text me and Jorgen.
Also, just to add a little bit of context here, Harborview is massive.
Mm.
Like saying someone works at Harborview is like saying someone works at Boeing. Right? It's absolutely massive. No telling, like, if he could work at Harborview and be so far away that he doesn't hear the explosion that you inevitably will create.
Mm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We better get some spray paint before tomorrow.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, we're tagging this place. We never go inside. We just tag the outside like we did something cool. And then we leave. Gave me a babysitter.
You basically said you needed one.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Just saying.
We know you won't put Jorgen in danger.
I 100% would not. It's a good call. It's a damn good call. It's a really good one.
So, Mary, do you have any devious plots to enact before you?
No, I think I'm good for this night. I'll see what happens tomorrow.
Mm.
There's nothing else better to do. I have some plans, but we'll see.
Ooh.
Iris, you are alone in your bedroom.
Yeah. Just kind of going over in my head over and over again how I'm going to confront Tyr about the fact that I need to retreat in this fight that's coming up. Trying to figure out how I'm going to convince her to do this.
Hey, if Jesse's dead, we don't have to cheat.
Exactly. That's why we're waiting.
Just holding on to that boon for a little bit.
Right.
Plan
Just
out
in case.
future arguments. That's how to make a relationship really work.
Well,
Yeah.
but we might not need to if he's dead.
Yeah, if you ambush your partner when you've already planned the whole argument and you're going to win. Iris has this in the bag. Tyr has no idea this is the talking point.
PowerPoint presentation.
Right.
All right, Tyr, sit down, and it's like,
What?
I gotta go. Good stuff.
I think that's where we're going to end it tonight. Thank you for joining us. I had a lovely time kidnapping a small child.
The good
Hurting Walter some more. I don't know why I can't stop hurting that character. Anyways.
Happy 2022,
yeah.
everyone. It's like
Happy 2022. Thank you for joining us
episode of-
for a whole year now.
Wow.
Check
Has it
into.
We have
Yeah,
like
it's-
a few weeks.
Do we?
We're close.
Yeah, we're
close?
more or less.
I thought we started before the new year. No, you're right.
I
We did.
can't remember.
No, we started in January.
Yes, we're
I'm
in it,
thinking
we're
of-
in it.
I'm joining together both campaigns in my head.
Mm.
Anyways, there is, however, a year-long Dice Gold show, and that happens on Mondays.
Hi guys. Boy, it's been a year. On Mondays we have a D&D 5e game, Norse mythology inspired. On the Backs of Gods, it goes live every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Currently, the party has arrived in town. They found a nice inn that they are not allowed in because they are chaos monsters who got in trouble and aren't allowed in nice places anymore. And there's a nice temple with a very stealable goat inside. And I can only assume there's going to be 2 heists happening, one to ruin this hotel and one to steal a goat. But maybe they'll decide to be good and not, but I don't believe that. So if you're interested in watching a little bit of a goat heist, you could join us on Mondays at 8 p.m.
And I don't know who would be super enticed by a goat heist, but if you're more into like slaying gods and justice and rock and beer, then probably Tuesday nights at 9:30 p.m. Legends of Theia is for you. It's also a D&D 5e game. Tons of fun. Hope you'll join us. And Wednesday nights, we have Cordially Invited over on the Dice Cult's YouTube channel. And I believe that is on this week because I know they have been off.
I think so, but you guys can keep up with us on our socials. I almost said the other one. At the Dice Cult. I was just like, who are we? We're at the Dice Cult on Instagram and Twitter. We always post when we're going live on Twitter. So if you want to make sure and see what we're doing, you can follow us there.
And that is the entire offerings of the Dice Cult. Love having you. Please come check us out. All of this stuff gets uploaded at our YouTube channel, the Dice Cult YouTube. And along with this, you can binge all of it there at your leisure. Hope to see you next Saturday evening at Harm Review. Good evening.